What's up YouTube, Yellow Samurai X here with another video, and today I kind of want to talk about Isaiah Thomas. Now Isaiah Thomas has been in the news mostly on Twitter and YouTube after going into this Pro-Am tournament over the summer and dropping 60 points in a game, and then following up by dropping another 81 points in the next game. So a lot of people are saying, should Isaiah Thomas come back to the NBA? Is there a spot for him on any of these NBA teams? And I really wanted to look at it from the perspective of the Warriors. Now, again, this is going to be more of a discussion topic for Warriors fans, but please let me know down below what your thoughts are at the end of this video. But yeah, I've been looking at it from Warriors fan point of view, and I really like the fit of Isaiah Thomas with the Warriors. So as a Warriors fan, I've gone through a lot of different YouTube channels and a lot of different forums where people are talking about, the free agency and who the Warriors should pick up. And there's still a consensus with Warrior fans that the Warriors still need a veteran point guard to come out off the bench for Steph Curry. So Isaiah Thomas would be a great fit for this because they are really looking for a veteran point guard with playoff experience. And Isaiah Thomas has a lot of experience, not just in the playoffs, but playing at a high level, being a guy who was carrying a Celtics team that was not too bad, but he was definitely a big focal point for that Celtics team back in the day. And because of injury, his career kind of started falling into a really bad direction. However, one thing to note, when you look at Isaiah Thomas and what he's accomplished in these last couple of games, he looks like the Isaiah Thomas that was back in the NBA playing at a really high level. And it's easy to go, 60 and 80 points in a Pro-Am tournament isn't really like the biggest thing in the world, but even with that, not every NBA player can go in and just do that, you know what I mean? So he's a guy who has a big chip on his shoulder, who really wants to prove to people that he still has what it takes to be in the NBA. Now, why is this important for the Warriors? Well, the Warriors, they need that veteran point guard, but the veteran point guard free agency has kind of dried up, right? There's not a whole lot of people who are still out there. I was still kind of giving hope to maybe getting Schroeder onto the team, even though he's like not the best point guard in the world. He would be really good for what we need, right? Which is a point guard who can come off the bench, who can work with that second unit, so that when Steph, sits down, they're not just giving up points, but can actually produce something with that second unit. So the reason why I believe he would fit perfectly with the Warriors system is mainly because they really need that veteran presence who can guide them, and someone who can really take the pressure off of Jordan Poole, right? Because Jordan Poole is going to be the main focus for that second team. But if you have a guy like Isaiah Thomas, who is a prolific scorer in his own right, well, now teams have to, really give him some attention, otherwise he will light them up. So now that really gives Jordan Poole, it really alleviates some of that pressure that's going to be on him to score with that second unit. But I just remember looking at this story as it was unfolding on Twitter, and it really it just resonated with me because I was a huge fan of Isaiah Thomas when he was on the Celtics, and he was really giving them that push to exceed expectations. And when I saw him breaking down outside the hallway after the game, I was kind of conflicted, right? Because part of me was thinking like, well, this could be staged, right? It could just be him, trying to, find pity and get back into the NBA. But I think the part that really resonated with me was like, I really do feel like even if this was staged, which I don't know if it was or not, but I'm just saying if it was, I definitely do feel like that was something that probably he really does feel a certain kind of way about, like, when he was traded from the Celtics to, Cleveland for Kyrie. I didn't really feel like that was a diss to him in any kind of way. It was just acknowledging that, we believe that Kyrie would be a better fit for us. But after that, the other thing was he really went and got his surgery too late. And so when he came back, Cleveland was like already in there, trying to get into playoff shape. And he didn't really come back well, so they kind of just, put him to the back, and, he's there, but we don't really care too much. And it really kind of became this repeating cycle for him wherever he went, where he was on the team, but nobody really gave him that chance to be, the guy that we all know he can be. So just kind of seeing that unfold, I really do feel like he has that chip on his shoulder where he wants to prove himself. And most of the teams that are, looking to try and maybe bring him in are not going to give him that opportunity that he will have with Golden State, who really do need that backup point guard to really produce and probably have a good chunk of minutes as well. So the other thing about it was, when I was watching the story unfold, his story reminded me a lot of another guy that was really big in the Warriors championships runs, and that is Shaun Livingston. Now, Shaun Livingston was kind of in a similar situation where he was given opportunities, but most people wanted him to start, and he didn't really have that in his game anymore. So you would see him be cut from teams all the time. And there was actually this interview that he did where he actually talked about how he didn't really like Christmas time that much anymore, because that was around the time where teams would cut him. And I think just watching all of this unfold with Isaiah Thomas, it kind of reminded me of Shaun Livingston. Like, this is a place and at Golden State where they've definitely been able to take guys that, the league has given up on, or who have already predestined for, the bottom of the barrel, and have really turned their careers around. Shaun Livingston being one. You could also talk about JaVale McGee, who people thought was never going to really be anything, and now he's won multiple championships, was on Team USA, and he really turned his career around. You can talk about Swaggy P, who people had given up on. You can even talk about Otto Porter Jr., who was just signed this year, who, these are all guys who have had struggles in their career, but for the most part, they've been able to just turn around their careers and show you that they still have more to them than what you've seen. And so when I look at Isaiah Thomas and what the Warriors really need, veterans who can come in, who are going to put in the work, Isaiah Thomas fits like everything the Warriors need right now. A guy who's going to put in the work, a guy who's had playoff experience, a guy who can run the point, and who can really take over that second unit and take the pressure off the younger guys. And I also think he's a guy who can really put in the work to change his game to fit the Warriors system and what they like to do on both ends of the floor. Obviously, he's not a great defender, and that's going to be one thing that sticks out. But I think he's smart enough to be able to fit into the Warriors' defensive scheme to where he can get that help defense, so he's not sitting on an island. And then obviously on the offensive end, he can really, push the ball forward for the Warriors. Yeah, I just think that, I'm not really a guy who believes in coincidences. So I don't think it was a coincidence that I'm looking at Twitter and I'm seeing Schroeder sign that contract with Celtics. And I'm just thinking like, there really aren't too many veteran point guards that are still on the market anymore. And then all of a sudden I see all this stuff unfold with Isaiah Thomas, and I'm just thinking like, wow, that would be a perfect fit for the Warriors to pick this guy up. And so yeah, this video is really just to say, Warriors, I mean, come on, Bob, please get this guy, please. You know, if you need to use the MLE, I would use it on Isaiah Thomas just to get him here. I do think that he can be a very productive member of the second unit for the Warriors. So definitely, that's where I stand. But let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about, you know, Warriors possibly picking up Isaiah Thomas? I think it's a perfect fit. I think this would definitely give him the ability to show the world that he still has it, because whoever our backup point guard is probably going to play like a good 20 minutes at least, while, you know, Steph is on the bench. Maybe you can play sometimes with Steph as well. I know that'd be kind of weird with Isaiah Thomas and Steph because they're both, you know, smaller guards, but they also both can shoot the ball really well, so you can't really just leave either one of them. So yeah, there's so many different reasons just in Isaiah Thomas's kit that would just open up avenues for the Warriors, and I also believe that he can also adapt his game to the Warriors style of play as well. So let me know in the comments down below, guys, what do you guys think? And that'll be all for me today. Thank you guys very much. Leave a comment and a like down below if you like this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.